Hey everybody, this is your favorite Wild PK. Yes, it's Lady Abdullah. And you guys, I have a special guest with us once again, but this one's a little extra special to my heart. She is my pastor, Pastor Shuntina Gaston. You guys from Presence Church, if you don't know about us, you better ask somebody. Presence Church in Perry, Georgia is lit. And if nothing else, you want this woman of God praying for you. Pastor, how are you doing? Thank you.
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for saying yes now. And it's because of the long time that we've known each other.
Right.
I will tell y'all, she pretends that she's shy. Like we all pretend that we shy. And the fact that she's doing this, no, I'm gonna call you out because the fact that she's doing this, I am so honored and blessed right now. Because I think 2 years ago I asked, she's like, nah, I'm not doing that. So the fact that we're doing this now, it's such a blessing. I want to just jump right in. If you guys don't know Pastor Tina's story, we met as youth leaders at the church that we were attending at that time. And now she's literally the head pastor of a 4 years?
Yeah, we're going into year 5.
Yeah, we're going into year 5. That's right. I'm not gonna tell your story. I try to let everybody else tell their story because nobody can tell it like you. So tell us that transition from being, actually being committed to being a youth leader to where you are now.
Well, man, that's going back a little bit.
I know. You pull a little bit out.
Yeah, it's going back. So yeah, I joined the youth ministry at a time. I had been at this church for a while, just kind of there worshiping, and got challenged to do a little more, step out, commit, get plugged in. And I just always had this passion for teenagers, not kids, not the little ones. It takes special people for each age group.
That is right.
Teenagers, it's just always been a burden for me, just a passion. And so did that for years. Met you there, met some amazing people, still have some relationships with a lot of those teenagers that are adults now.
Right.
They're getting married, having babies.
It's crazy.
All of that, right? So I still see them, and it's like, man, and just to see that, that part is amazing. So I did that for years, got mentored, walked through that. Actually met my husband in that. I was in youth ministry. He was doing outreach, and that's what we met, doing outreach together.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we were doing, Adopt a Block. And the youth ministry would go out at the same time. We'd ride the bus over. He was there at the park, and that's where we met. And so a little bit later, he actually joined the youth ministry.
Yeah.
And was leading the band. And so we dated, and we were mentored through that process. While I was youth leader by pastors that were over the youth ministry. So they walked us through all of that. They walked us through the dating process. We didn't do that part alone. So they helped us, through a lot. We would sit on their couch, which is something that we do now. We bring people in. Y'all come sit on the couch and talk to us. And so that's what got us through that process.
Oh my goodness.
Just having that leadership, that mentorship through that.
So when you say sat on the couch, because there's a lot of people who when dating, we keep it to ourselves. I was like that. I was like, I didn't want nobody knowing my business because I had too many folks in my business trying to tell me what to do, when to do it.
Right.
But the way that you're saying it was more of covering, even in your relationship in the beginning, bringing that, saying, hey, hold us accountable. What can we do to strengthen each other? How was that process?
For us, we both had those same relationships without the influence, without any accountability, without any help, and I can tell you it was a mess. It created soul ties. It created situations that we shouldn't have been in, that we couldn't handle. And so this time going into it, at the time, my mentor, he said, I don't want to meet your boyfriend. He said, by that point, if it's your boyfriend, you already have your mind made up, if he's the right one. If you already created this emotional connection, let me meet him before you make up your mind.
Wow.
That's
now I know who it was. Couch.
Right. So you already know how that went.
Coming for y'all.
Right. You already know. And that's what I did. And early, he was like, "Is this the one?" I'm like, Jesus. Like, hold on, let me see. But I was able to say, yeah, it is. And he was like, all right, so they walked us through it. They married us, you know, but sitting on the couch was moments of, all right, let's protect it. Let's do this the best way. Let's not sleep together. Okay, well, how do we do that? Because a lot of, they'll tell you, don't have sex before marriage. But how do you do that? We like each other. We hanging out. We want to.
How you doing?
We in here, like.
Yes.
All right, so we're not watching movies on the couch late at night past this time, or we're not in this setting, and they would hold us accountable to it. I had friends that I could text, hey, this is where I am right now. Check in with me to make sure that I'm leaving when I need to be leaving. Stuff like that. And so just sitting on the couch, just having those real conversations of where this thing is going, and not just wasting time.
I could see that you guys were intentional with your date. I think that's what the difference is. You know, a lot of us, or at least what I tell singles, it's like, don't date somebody because they like you. You know, because you can like a dog, you can like a favorite meal, you know, you can go with or without it. And as simple as liking somebody, but it's like, no, let's make this situation real. Should we talk to each other? Is this something we should pursue? Like, ask those questions. So I think that's really cool that from the jump, somebody was holding you accountable to it. And I know, I don't want to say his name. I'm gonna have to ask him on here one time, but he does not play.
At all.
Y'all, he does not play. He's like, so are y'all sleeping together? Are y'all kissing each other?
We got all those questions.
I know. You be like,
all that.
I'm sorry.
I can really appreciate it now. It was hard to have somebody like that, but I can appreciate it. Just because of the purity that it allowed us to walk through. From having, I mean, that wasn't the case going into it. We both had relationships outside of that where it wasn't, it wasn't that. It wasn't holy. It wasn't holy about it. So just being able to have that, it's tough and we don't always like it, but it worked. It helped us a lot. So I do appreciate that still to this day.
So you guys started on a good foundation, but I know any relationship, any marriage is not always easy to maneuver through. And the fact that you guys were in ministry. So how hard was it to, let's say after you got married, transition, whether it's roles or, hey, we're going in this direction for ministry as well?
It was very difficult. I would say for me, as a woman, as a wife, because coming in, I was the high school pastor. We got married, and for like that first year, we kind of did it together like that. And then there was a shift where he became the youth pastor, and I kind of stepped back behind him. Well, he wanted to do it together, and it was friction. It wasn't that easy of a process. It was lonely at some points because it went from youth leader to youth pastor. So the relationships became different of having to hold people accountable for different things of that nature. Now having to figure out, all right, how to leave church here and come home and do this. And now we got a 1-year-old, and now we got I mean, it wasn't easy. It wasn't. It was a lot of days. It was a lot of moments of feeling like, all right, where do I fit in? How do I do this now? Where do I go for the advice or for the counsel? And so a lot of it, honestly, I just tried to figure out on my own for years, because our mentors at that time, they did move away.
They did
to start a church, and so honestly, like for a couple years, it was just trying to figure it out.
Oh my goodness, I can't, and that's the part that I can't wrap my mind around. Like the steps that y'all took so early on into your relationship. Like people don't really understand those first 5 years of a marriage. It can either make or break you. Like it can either tear you straight apart. It can bring y'all closer together. And something that you said, that you were trying to find your way through it and had no one to say, here you go. How about you try this? Let's go in this direction. Or you know what? Be a little easier on him. I know that he's going in this direction. And I know we're headstrong as well. Like, if you just listen to me, I'll keep you on straight. So I think that's amazing that you could even reflect on that. So how did you guys, I guess, work through it and get to a better place?
So I say that first year was hard. The first year was, I'm leaving. Let me get my bag. I'm finna go. We're gonna figure something else out. This ain't working. And we had to sit down and it's like, all right, if we're gonna do this, let's do this. Let's take divorce out. We gotta have these real hard moments, these real hard conversations, and being able to face them. But a lot of it also, that got us through that part. And then to transition a little bit when we moved away and we only had each other. That was it. Like we had each other. We had each other. We moved to Florida. Joshua wasn't even 2 yet. Yeah. And I was pregnant again and we were moving. And when we got to Florida, we were expected to have another job with more income. We were expected, to have different things. And we ended up moving to Florida on the same income that we had in Georgia, which if you know, it's not the same.
It's not.
And so it was stressful. We were broke. It was us, and that's what we had. We had us and Jesus. And we learned to depend on each other, to really, like, we had to be vulnerable. We had to be open. We had to face a lot of these things. If not, I don't think either one of us would have made it through our marriage, or it would still be in ministry. So we really had to, all right, we right here. This is what we got. So this is what we're going to do. And, just our foundation of God and prayer really just kept us together and kept that glue and kept us moving, just to be honest.
No, I mean, that's a good point as well. I think with marriages, sometimes we're like, as long as we have each other, we'll make it through. It's like, no, you're saying no, put God in there.
Yeah.
In the midst of that. Because I might go crazy. I might lose myself and you'd be like, who is this woman? Who is this person I'm talking to? You're not the sweet, loving, kind Alesha. And I'm like, I ain't got it.
Right. Not today.
If I tell my husband, I'll be like, you want something I don't have to give today? I don't have it. He'd be like, what do I need? I'll be like, I don't know.
That's real sometimes though. And we both have gone just through our personal healing process of going through therapy, of understanding that, of sometimes you gotta take care of yourself and be your best self, or you have nothing to give. So, that's real. Like, some days I just ain't got it. And I just got to tell you, like, I done gave here. I ain't got it today.
I ain't got nothing.
Give me a minute. Let me bring it back in, all right? Then I can give you something.
Yes. What would you say was the best advice that you got in ministry, in early ministry?
Early ministry was that we learn how to work well for God, but we don't always walk well with Him. And so a pastor always told us that don't make ministry, don't confuse that with your walk. That's ministry, that's work, that's that. But your personal relationship, that's your walk. Like, that's so much more important than your work. And that's stuck with both of us. And we remind ourselves of that often, because ministry there's ups and downs, there's good seasons, there's tough seasons, people come, people go. But none of that's gonna get me to heaven. None of that is gonna sustain, just this relationship, or give me what I need for my family. I can't be a good wife, a good mother. I can't be a good me, just from my work. And so that walk is just so important.
So I want to pivot off of that. You just went to my next question.
Okay.
I remember when you told me that, you can't start your day off without spending time with God. For me, that is and if I'm honest, if I be transparent with myself, I'm gonna talk to God throughout the day, because I'm on my way to work, I do the car thing. The car is my closet for me. But being so intentional where I won't start my day without talking to you, I think that's amazing and almost difficult to do in my mind. But what made you commit to doing something like that?
Honestly, my mentor now, that's what she's all about. She's all about permission. She's all about this banner of freedom. She has 3 kids. She's a co-pastor. And so just like looking at her, like, how do you do this without losing your mind, without being so overwhelmed, and that's it. She challenged us. Before I started doing it on my own, there was a group of us, and we would get up 6 a.m., pray. On some, like Wednesday mornings, we would do it together, until it just became something that, all right, I'm getting used to getting up. It ain't always easy. I mean, I gotta go to bed. I can't stay up and watch basketball all night. I gotta go to bed. You know, I gotta, if this is gonna be a priority, if this is gonna be something that I know I need. And so from between her and between my therapist, of making sure that I have time for myself, self-care, those were two big things for me. And so being able to get up, one is that time for God, but one is that time to myself, where it is quiet, where I'm not sharing my time. I don't have that, my car ain't quiet ever.
Right.
Right. So, it's hectic. I'm fussing, we putting on shoes, we changing for gymnastics, leaving from school. Like, so for me, it's to get up before the house starts moving. Mm-hmm. To get up, to have that quiet time to hear. And a lot of times I hear instructions for my day when I get up and set that time apart. And so for me, it's just critical. I don't always want to do it. Lord knows, sometimes I have to set my alarm for 30 minutes earlier because I'm going to hit snooze. And some mornings where, boom, let's go. Yeah. So, I mean, some mornings are like that, and some just, but I try my best. All right, let's go. Let's do it. And it helps me. I've heard just critical instructions, even over the past week, of God telling me to go back and read this book Fervent. I've read it before. But in this season of where I am, he's like, read it again. And I get something different out of it that's talking about how overwhelmed and how the enemy wants you, you know, just going past your boundaries. And it's speaking to me now in a different season. So that's just, I know that I'm always get something when I get up and go do it.
Come on now. She said early risers get what they need. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I want to talk about you being a mom. Now, is that something you always wanted to do? Is that, because I like, we want to assume that women just want to be moms, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. Is that something that you wanted to do as well?
It's so weird. Like, I've always had just this other nurturing side. Like, I had little cousins that I almost raised, that they were just always with me. I would take them, but I just never, it wasn't that I wanted to just be, I just gotta be a mom. It wasn't I didn't want to be. I was just kind of like, if it happens, all right. I just never thought about, I never really processed that part of it, to be honest with you. I always kind of just went from it was basketball, then jumped into ministry, and then it's kind of, and so my focus was never just children, family. It was more of, all right, this is where I am right now. Right. To the best of my ability. Yeah. I'm gonna go here. And so it was never just a thing that I just, I guess coming up, like, you do have some that are like, I just want to be a mom. I just want to do this. And that it just wasn't how it went for me, I guess. Is
that right? I just like to ask that question. And it's just because, like, I was anti-kids for the longest.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got with my husband that I wanted a kid.
Okay.
And that was like my signal, oh, I need to be with you.
You done changed it up for me.
I've never wanted kids. I thought they were a hassle. If I could just be honest, they were a hassle. They were needy, and they're not always gratifying as well. Like, sometimes they beat you up, and they be like, "I don't like you today." You be like, "I'm trying my best."
Right.
I'm trying my best, but I mean, Zaire's about to be one, and I think it's one of the best blessings I've ever had in my whole entire life.
Definitely.
And to watch you guys. And I don't think you guys realize how many people watch you with your kids, but to see how affectionate you guys are, and how, you know, of course, if you're a preacher's kid, you got to be well behaved. That's the expectation and all that stuff. But let kids be kids.
Yeah.
But they truly have a spirit of God. They truly are worshipers. Like, you can see that, and to cultivate that, you know, a lot of us are like writing down, like, okay, I see. I think one gem that you dropped for us one time was like, the only music that was playing in the house was worship music. And it's like, oh, that's why they're worshipers. That makes perfect. But what made you commit to, I guess, the lifestyle that you wanted them to be brought up in? So that, I guess, what is the goal of how you're raising your kids? What's the outcome that you're looking for?
For me, like my parents, they were great, but there were things as I got older that I was like, man, I wish I knew. I wish I knew how important my virginity was. I would have guarded it more. I wouldn't have just given it. You know, I wish, you know, just wanting that foundation. I remember growing up, I always had questions, Mom, what's my purpose? What's this? What's that? And so just, I guess just seeing just how crazy the world is changing, of what they're gonna have to walk through.
Yeah.
We see it. And I just want them to be as prepared as possible of having that identity, of seeing what it looks like when you don't know who you are and you're struggling trying to figure that out and going through it, and you're trying different things, and it's leading to more heartbreak, and it's leading to all these different things. And so just, man, I think our job, we just want to nurture and protect and give them the tools, the best tools we can give them. It's up to them to use them as they get older, but we want to make sure that they have those tools. And that's spiritually, that's financially, that's emotionally, it's all the way around. And so we try to create just this safe place that y'all can talk to us.
Yeah.
We don't expect you to be perfect. My son is a perfectionist. He wants everything perfect. He's hard on himself. And we just try to give him space to be like, you're going to mess up. You ain't going to get it right. You know, just giving them that space. If they can't fall into us, then where they going to go? Where they going to go?
So, I love it. I love it.
We just try to give them that. We just try to let them be kids. Y'all not just pastors' kids. Y'all are kids.
Right.
So if you want to dance in your talent show, we're going to support, we're going to scream, and you're going to dance in your talent show.
That's right.
And so
you better watch out. Old son got the moves now. He does
he
not
likes to
play.
dance. He likes to rap. He like, you know, they're in sports. They're in all of these things. So people will see us, hey, on a spring break trip, like our kids be in meetings with us. They at the church. They, you know, they worshiping. We want to have some fun. We want them to go and not just, you know, be confined to this. But at the end of the night, they're gonna turn their worship on before they go to bed. They're gonna pray together before they go to bed.
Right.
And that's just what we believe in. We just want to create that foundation for them. So, you know, I can buy
it's a balance that y'all are doing.
Yeah.
I think it's a balance, because I was the preacher kid that was spent all day in the church.
Yeah.
And then when I wanted to go somewhere, they'd be like, no, you can't do that. And I'd be like, okay, all right. So when I got out at 18, I was like, I ain't going back.
Yeah.
I done served my time. Jesus, if you don't know me by now, you ain't ever gonna know me. That's how I felt.
Yeah. That's real though. I mean, so it's not that we're trying to just, you know, keep that from happening, but we want them to enjoy it. We want them to see that as a relationship.
Yeah.
So we talk to them. We talk through things with them about our relationship with God, and you know, we just give them room. They're kids. They're 7, 5, and 2. They're kids, so we just want them to have fun right now and do that. And they're quick to pray. They're quick to do all of that, but they at the same time they can just go outside and play, or you know, just enjoy it. So
that's awesome.
Just what we're trying to create.
Well, you're doing it. We're watching and we're soaking, and you know, especially like with me and my husband. Of course, we have 2 different religious backgrounds, and trying to find the not to say middle ground, because that's not what it is, but just finding the balance. And you know, I'm taking gems from all the parents right now. So I appreciate you guys. It's not that I hold you on a pedestal, but it's refreshing to see people our age trying to make the effort. You know, because they like to say that our generation is the one that leave their kids with their grandma all the time, and they in the club, we in the club still trying to do stuff. And it's like, no, some of us want to be parents, and we're parenting. So that's awesome. Now I do want to ask you as well, before we wrap up, what is something that you're working on, a goal that you want to do, at least if not by the end of this year, by the end of next year?
Right. Let's see. Of course, outside of this, I train, do basketball training. So I'm doing that. So this
do your plug. That's right.
Coming up on year 1, so that's still going. I've been challenged, of course. Like I said, my mentor, she's challenged me. So I guess more speaking, more just God gave me a word for my birthday last July of just evolving. And so right now, when he challenges me, when he nudges me, I just have to give that quick yes, which is why I'm on here now.
Yeah.
Just learn to give that quick yes. So that's just kind of where I am right now. Whatever he's speaking, I'm gonna give that yes. And so just leading these women at church the best that I can. That's just where I am right now. With me and my husband, we're pastoring together. Our heart is for our people in our house right now. Yeah. So just want to lead and just help them to grow, help y'all grow as much as possible.
You're doing it.
That's where I am right now. So he say something different, and that's the way I'm gonna go. But right now, that's what he has. Yeah.
I love that. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. I want to say thank you for participating in this. I mean, all we're doing is gearing up for Pillow Talk Conference, just having those vulnerable conversations and asking some real questions with some real feedback. A lot of times we don't ask questions because we're not sure who to go to. And I mean, if nothing else, I know 100% I can talk to you. You checked me a couple of times. You checked my attitude a couple of times.
All in love.
It is, and I appreciate that because, I think we kind of pull away from that because we're like, well, I know what's best for me. And it's like, sometimes you just need it. You need to hear, hey, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but you're wrong. Like you're wrong. Like, let's change this attitude. Maybe you said it in the wrong way. And I'll be like, they just need to, that's just me, and I'm working on that. I'm working on it. But when I do take that time and I pull back from it and I'm like, okay, this is not like correction because Alesha's a bad person. It's correction because at the end of the day, you want me to do better, and most of the time that's all it is. So if you're getting correction from your pastor, we won't talk about church hurt and all that kind of stuff, but the reality is that let them spank you a little bit. Let them spank you. That's their role. That's the responsibility. That's the mantle that they hold. And if you really submit in their leadership and guidance, you know the difference between bad counsel and good counsel. I trust Pastor Tina and Pastor Justin with me, my family, my heart, and everything. So if nothing else, if you got a good pastor, honor them by listening to their word and and don't take it all personal. I tell anybody that. I don't care what they say about you. I don't know you too long. I'm like, that's not her heart. That's not her heart. Y'all be all right.
Well, I'm glad to see you doing this and stepping out. I know worship is dear to your heart, but I know that I always tell that there's so much more. Yeah. So I'm glad to see you just in this lane doing, what you've been created to do. So you've made this easy for me, and so I know it's gonna be good. I thought you was gonna give me some questions about the sex, but we're gonna leave that to the other ones, I guess. So I answered them.
I want to do another one with you because I feel like that needs more time. I really do.
Okay. So I got you. We gotta save some for the conference too.
We do.
So it's gonna be good.
It's about to be. Somebody asked me if it was gonna be raunchy. I said, not raunchy, okay? It's not gonna be raunchy. I promise you, it's not gonna be raunchy. Well, you guys, thank you for tuning in with us. This has been fantastic. Pastor Tina, I appreciate you once again. You guys, come visit us at Presence Church in Perry, Georgia. Tune in online as well, because we do have services at 11 o'clock Sunday. But it's better to be in the house, because outside of seeing her give a mighty word, Pastor Justin give a mighty word, me singing at the altar, God shows up every Sunday, you guys. We be slain. We be all in the spirit. Y'all better come get some. Come get some. If you're dry, this is the well you want to drink from, okay? Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Love you.
Love you. Hey everybody, go ahead and pick up your tickets on Eventbrite. Right now we have a special promo code for 20% off with Power Couple. Get your tickets now.